Hello everyone, this is Michael Teoh here. I am the founder and director of Thriving Talents Malaysia. First of all, I would like to apologize for not being able to be there physically with you, though I would want to virtually welcome all of you to the OIC Trade and Economic Forum 2015. And thank you to the organizers for extending this opportunity for us to share our strategies and our experience spread across 38 countries since 2012, developing the next booming group of talents across our world, the youth talents. Now, with your permission, I would like to invite you to enjoy a presentation which I've prepared especially for you. Now, what I need you to do is to really focus on the audio with your eyes set on this very special presentation that I've prepared just for this conference. Opportunities with Asia's youths, transforming the world's emerging generation into your profitable generation. Now, what is this about, and why am I here to share more of this with you? Now, before I continue, I would like to ask your permission to allow me to take the next 2 minutes to just briefly introduce myself and what do I do and how this is related to the ideas that I'll be sharing with you throughout my session right now. First and foremost, I'm from Thriving Talents. We are a talent development and corporate training company where we have helped many Fortune 500 companies develop their youth talents. These are people below the age of 35 years old. At the same time, I've had the great opportunities to work with some of the world's most remarkable companies, and at the same time have had great learning experiences with the world's top institutions, and having done projects working with young talents across 38 countries, from Guatemala to Honduras to South Africa to Zimbabwe to even Liberia to China and to most parts of Southeast Asia. At the same time, we have had the great opportunities to be featured on CNN 3 times to share our thoughts about the world outlook or global trends on talent development. At the same time, I am personally a board member with the National Student Volunteers Foundation with the Ministry of Education Malaysia, and also was made a special advisor to the National Youth Council belonging to the National or the Ministry of Youth and Sports Malaysia. I've also been a global advisor to Microsoft and SAP on all youth initiatives. But there is one unique experience that I love to share with all of you. It is this picture right here. Last year, we had the great opportunities to organize a workshop to develop the next generation of youths. These are youths who are not ready for the job market yet, but they will be the successors that will inherit your businesses soon. We call these the Generation Z. Babies born after the year 2000. And what was really powerful for us was that we had the opportunity to receive a very special visitation from President Barack Obama and our Prime Minister Dato Sri Najib during our training for these young people in Malaysia last year. It was an amazing experience, and it further solidified my belief that you should start investing in young people. They are the future. They are the successors that will be inheriting your company. But now the question is, how do you make them profitable? Now, this is a research conducted by the US Census Bureau, which shows the average of our population. As you would notice, by the year 2020, the Generation Ys. Now, Generation Ys are people born from 1980 to the year 2000. They will form the largest group in the workplace. Now, this is the group that you will be targeting to groom in order to inherit your business or to ensure that your business survives for the next 5 to 10 years to 20 years. And as you move on to the year 2025, the whole cycle repeats itself, where we have the Generation Z coming into the workforce. But today, we're focusing on youth talents. We're focusing on how youth talents can be transformed into assets for your companies, for your economies, and how migration of knowledge and talents and expertise can facilitate that. Now, I've singled out 3 opportunities and also challenges in Asia, which I believe you need to take note. Number one, a strong Asian culture. Number two, a rapidly growing as a wide region in Asia. And number three, global exposures set global standards. What do we mean by this? Now, do bear with me. Let's go through one by one. Let's go through the first opportunity and challenge which have presented itself in Asia. Now, first and foremost, we have to agree that Asia is the booming economical region of the world. At the same time, by understanding that, we also need to realize that Asians are mostly young people. There are many statistics that you can find online that clearly shows in most Asian countries, the generation Ys or the youths are actually forming the larger group of their experienced and professional workforce right now, let alone business owners and entrepreneurs as well. So, when we talk about a strong Asian culture, we have to ask ourselves this question. Are we competitive enough to challenge the world because of our Asian culture? Now, do let me explain. Because of our Asian culture, we tend to hold back on ideas sometimes. Sometimes organizations do not get to experience rapid innovation as compared to our counterparts in the West. Now, why is that? In our work that we do with companies, we have always worked to bridge the generational gap. In Asia or in the Eastern culture, it is always believed that we always give way to the senior generation, where we always pave the way for the senior generations to lead. Now, of course, I am also a believer of an ancient Chinese proverb. The senior people have tasted more salt than we have tasted rice. However, because we are so ingrained with our Asian culture of always passing by or always letting go of ideas, sometimes voiced out by the younger ones because we are judged as being inexperienced, are our organizations then ready to embrace innovation? Because innovation, believe it or not, is following the trend set by the youths. So the question now is, are we ready? If we are indeed ready, how are we going to address the intergenerational gap within organizations? Now, this is what I would recommend. Empower more of your younger employees with the authority to share their ideas. Do not punish them for having shared an idea which is unusual to the taste of your more senior management. In fact, embrace them, encourage them, and support them, and motivate them more to contribute more ideas to your organization. Because as far as we uphold the Asian culture and our Asian values, let us not use that as a reason to halt or to stop our innovation. And innovation, more often than not in today's world, happen when the voices of the young are heard. So think about that for a second. My second point touches on rapidly growing Asian region into a wide region. Now the question we have to ask ourselves are we ready with the right infrastructures, both on the hardware, on the software, to really develop a global class pool of talents for Asia? Now this is what I would recommend. We need to produce more locally produced content, and we need to showcase more iconic youths groomed locally for global communities. Now, we are all fans of great icons, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg. What about our own local icons? Whatever happened to them? We are consumers of Facebook, of Twitter, of Instagram. What about our own local applications or content that is relevant to our market? I believe in order for us to really exploit the potential of youths in Asia, they need to be given platforms and opportunities to produce content with their stories, their successes, and their struggles showcased, celebrated locally, and then being broadcast globally. I believe with Asia, an emerging economic region becoming more wired as of today, we would be able to showcase more of our youth talents. And in that way, through the products, through the content, through the services that our youth talents have produced, they can also potentially set new industry standards. Now, last but not least on this point, we need to then ask ourselves, do we have the right physical infrastructures like regional incubators to encourage cross-border knowledge sharing, cross-border export and import of high-impact technology products and services, infrastructures to facilitate easier traveling, infrastructures to facilitate easier communication? Do we have all these physical infrastructures, or what I call hardware, to facilitate the transfer of expertise and talents of our young people across Asia? Now, last but not least, our third point. Global exposures set global standards. The question is, are our institutions ready? Now, we all can understand in the year 2015, heading into 2016, Asia, we are heading into an economic winter. We are heading into a period where perhaps profitability may slide a little bit, economies may slow down. Now, the question now that I'd like to share with institutions, both universities, employers, and governments, are we producing youths with revenue-centered capabilities, or are we producing more youths with cost-centered liabilities? A great example would be, are our institutions, governments, universities producing entrepreneurial talents, or are we producing employees to key in data for your companies? We need to now move to an age where we are producing thinking graduates instead of just ready for employed graduates. We need to produce entrepreneurs among our universities. Let them work in companies. Let them be the innovative drive behind companies in order to make them relevant and in order to expand their influence across the region. Now, the last point here would be, what are global standards? Of course, we want to expose our talents to as many global exposures as possible. Send them to the Western economies, send them to different countries. But have we actually sat down and strategized? How can we use, how can we leverage, how can we elevate the talents of our young people in our countries, in our Asian region, to create our own global standards? At the end of the day, with Asia becoming the #1 focus point for consumer markets, for higher learning, and also for skilled talent pool, I think now the challenge is, are we understanding our own patterns of consumption? Are we setting trends for the global community to follow and benchmark against us? I think when we could answer all these three questions and ponder for a while, we would be able to create a more robust talent pool for our Asian region. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed that insightful sharing session that I've had with you. Again, it'll be a great opportunity for us to get connected. I would really love to explore how I can be of any service to your company, and also to the great strategies and the great work that you will be doing for the youths in our Asian region. Get in touch with me right here. I look forward to hear from all of you. Do drop me an email, add me on LinkedIn, add me on Facebook, or visit our website at www.thrivingtalents.com. I would like to thank the organizers for the OIC Trade and Economic Forum for this great opportunity again to empower you with insights and strategies to leverage and to elevate the world's emerging talent pool. And that are the youths in Asia. Thank you, everyone.